Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Dadas Show coming to you from Best Western Hotel Upper Hill here in Nairobi. As always, I am your host, Ashiko Mbune. Now, the Dadas Show aspires to promote a spirit of sisterhood and solidarity. And we do this by creating an open and a safe platform for women to be able to discuss issues pertaining to their lifestyle, their health, their careers, and everything that, affects them in one way or another. So on today's episode, which this is going to be a celebration, we're very, very excited because today we are taking time to acknowledge and to celebrate women under the age of 40. These are women who have made some great strides, and they do this by using resources. They've done this by using talent and their innovative ideas, and have not only represented themselves, but also women in general. Now, this is just but a group that represents a far much more wider group of dynamic and talented and fierce ladies under the age of 40, be it in the political spaces, be it in the private and the public sector. So today is a show dedicated to acknowledging you at home, and of course my panel over here. If you're under the age of 40 and you're doing it big, we are proud of you, we applaud you, and as always, in the spirit of sisterhood and solidarity, we are right here with you. Now, we're going to come into the conversation and talk about who are these people, how do you get to where they have gotten, what are some of the challenges that they experience, what are some of the milestones that they also experience. So we'll get into that in a little while, but of course you can always keep me engaged and give us your feedback on this and any other show that we have had before. Engage us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. You can also reach me directly across all social media platforms at Ashiko the host. I always look forward to hearing your feedback and your questions on this conversation, any other conversation we may be having. On today's topic, please currently give us your recommendation on who you feel can also fall into our own little version of our Top 40 Under 40 series. Before we jump into that, let's take a look at the following feature.
The Business Daily magazine highlights the top 40 under 40 women who have made it to the top 40 under 40 lists. These are remarkable women who have shaped industries and careers. They are fierce and talented. They have shattered glass ceilings with complete competence and absolute integrity. Among these amazing women who have made it to the top 40 under 40 list are Lynn Ngugi, the Chief Executive and founder of Lynn Ngugi Network, Patricia Mativo, Vice President, United Nations Population Fund, Samantha Kipuri, Group Head of Media Dentsu, Christola Sige, nominated Senator in Parliament. Among the youngest to have made it to the list are Beatrice Chebet, a long-distance runner, making it to the top 40 under 40 list at only 22 years old. Sylvia Gathoni, a 24-year-old and an e-sport athlete and Red Bull player. Purity Gakuo, the COO and co-founder Kuza Freezers, she joined the list at the age of 25.
Welcome back. As mentioned, joining me are remarkable ladies who fall into our own little version of Top 40 Under 40. So joining me, I have Victoria Karaoke, Miss Victoria Karaoke. Karibu sana, Victoria. Next to her, I have Miss Annette Manwa. Thank you so much, Annette, for joining me today. And finally, I have Miss Waringa Kimani. Karibu sana, Waringa. And of course, I cannot fail to acknowledge my wonderful audience who take time day in, day out, every so often, and to come and join us on Dadas Show. We really value your feedback, we value your presence, we acknowledge you, and we also celebrate you. Asante sana for joining me today. So to get the ball rolling, let's just start from the basics. We'll start with you, Victoria. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how what do you do? Give us a little brief about who is Victoria Karaoke.
My name is Victoria Karaoke. I am the founder and vision bearer of Tree to Table Kenya, which is a wooden kitchenware business. So the business, I started it in 2020, and I have currently been doing behind the scenes everything, and so far so good. The favor of the Lord has been on us, and We have grown because we started in the middle of the pandemic, and it was in response to job loss because of the pandemic.
Yes.
So I needed to keep having an income, and so that meant having to think outside of the box. So I started a business, and here we are. So Tree to Table, we do wooden kitchenware and wooden home accessories. So anything you need for your kitchen, maybe wooden bowls, wooden boards, and also home accessories made of wood, like candle holders, bathroom accessories. That's what we do, and that's where we are right now. So it's been 3 years, and so far so good.
Congratulations. I think I've actually been able to interact with one of your products. I think it was a beautiful bowl, and I am so intrigued as to how you actually came up with that idea, because like we said, you guys are making trends based off talent and innovative ideas. Never in a million years would I have thought about doing anything like that. But we'll come back to you, and then you can give me the history of course, there was the joblessness. You didn't decide to cook like the rest of us, so I'll come back to you, and you'll tell me about the inspiration, how you thought about that idea, because it's absolutely brilliant. So we'll move on to you. I'll pose the same question to you, Miss Manwa. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are right now.
Thank you for having me. My name is Annette Manwa. As you've been told, I'm the founder and CEO of Ziwa Asili. We are a business that is committed to improving the lives of women through both nurturing and nutrition. We create products for breastfeeding moms that help them to boost their milk supply in a healthy way. So how I got into this journey, I was in banking for 8 years. So I had my first child, when I was in the corporate world.
Yes.
So it was very difficult to breastfeed my baby for, the 6 months that are recommended, the exclusive.
Yes.
So through that journey, it was difficult. I struggled through it, but I did it. And behind the scenes was so much that was going on for me to be able to do that. So with time, I transitioned when I had my second baby to a stay-home mom. And also there are still a few challenges. You still struggle even if you're at home to breastfeed. And now, as the babies grow, then you sort of like get back to, okay, more than just,
just a mom.
Yeah, there's more to me than being just a mom.
Yes.
So with time, people would reach out to me, friends and all that, to ask me, now I'm breastfeeding, I'm struggling, what can I do?
Yeah.
Do you have a fix and all that? So I started like that, just little by little, being recommended by friends to other people and all that. So I created, we have lactation teas and lactation cookies that help, to boost breast milk supply in a healthy way. And at the same time, it's a fun way of getting like nutrients into your body.
Your system. Like who doesn't want to sit down and eat cookies? And I think that's actually a challenge that most people are going through nowadays. Because like they talk about the supply of breast milk is normally, can be affected by even the mood of somebody.
Yes.
And of course, since we're dealing in very harsh economic times, you could be stressed out about anything. You could be stressed out about life, and then your production it just ceases, know. So, I want to hear a little bit more about that product as we go on. Just like I said, I'm very intrigued by this particular products, and yours came out of necessity.
Yes.
And now you are in a position to assist women who are having issues, maybe lactating. So, asante sana, by the way, I definitely congratulate you, and we'll come back to you, Annette, in a little bit. And finally, kindly, Miss Kimani, kindly tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you ended up here.
Thank you very much for having me here. As I call myself, Wariga wa Kimani. Kimani being my dad, just to be clear. Basically, I'm in the toy industry. But the reason why I'm here, it's because of my product, Fruity Yummies. It's a homemade jam. And how I got here, it's a COVID baby.
Yeah.
For us, during the pandemic, it was a completely shut down. Having babies having bills to pay, I had to think of something. And how I came about the Fruity Yummies is I was doing home delivery groceries from door to door. And then I'll remain with some fruits. And I was like, you know, by the time you're doing the next shopping and all that, what will I do with these fruits? We can't all of us eat. Over the years, I've been making jam for my own kids, for my own family. So, and I have friends who love the jam, kabisa. So I decided, let me try and see if my friends will buy it as a way of supporting me. And I started making the jam from scratch. I cook it. It's cooked, actually. But the most unique thing about it, it has no preservatives, no chemicals. Those people who like feeling, you want something that is more natural. I look for naturalness in a product. So that's how I came about the product, and it's a very nice product. I encourage our audience to get it, to follow my page and buy it. It's a very nice product. If you're into lifestyle, if you're into good things, it's a very nice product.
First, I mean, I'm definitely blown away by making jam. How many people have heard of the story about making jam and cooking jam? Because it feels like it's something very Western, you know. We're just going to make some peach jam, apricot jam. So I love the idea. And you're right, because there's so many times, even when you want to consume fruits, and some of us people are not the biggest fan of fruits. And that's one way that I can actually be able to put it into my system. Instead of throwing away so what kind of variants do you have? You have plum?
No. I have mixed berry, which is the most, it's always sold out. Then there's pineapple and there's marmalade. Marmalade is from oranges. Wow, that's excellent. I would really, really love to see behind the scene how you do it. And everything you do, you just do it from home? Yeah, from my kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Now, speaking of which, like where you do your stuff from home, I'm sure that sometimes might pose as a challenge. If we look into it, what are some of the challenges? Because we see when you guys started, like most of these very big brands that you have right now was sort of conceptualized around COVID time. So aside from COVID, which presented its own set of challenges to most of us, what are some of the challenges that you've experienced, especially when you're working with the raw material that you deal with? But what are the challenges you've experienced in your company?
For me, first of all, COVID was a blessing because without the being at home, I would not have been able to, think outside of the box and start the business. So, so when I started the business, the biggest challenge to this day is fundis. Like, it's a very patriarchal, part of business. So I deal with men every other day, and they do not feel that I can tell them what to do. So that has always been a challenge. And also working with wood sometimes can be a challenge as well, because, sourcing of wood, ensuring that you're sourcing it sustainably without hurting the forest and all that. So that's another challenge. Also, when you start the business, the behind the scenes of the business is a lot. Like, you're starting the business, you're alone, you need to learn how to do social media, especially since you don't have a storefront. So you have to learn social media, you have to learn how to do your accounts, because you have to do bookkeeping and all that. So those are some of the challenges that I have experienced in my business.
Now let's pick one challenge which I'm sure most of you ladies have experienced, and even you at home. You like you mentioned, you were dealing in this is a very male-dominated field, especially we're talking about woodwork and crafting, and here comes Miss Victoria telling people, do this, do that, or this is the design I want. Because I've seen your products, I've seen your goods, there's creativity behind it. And perhaps the person you're dealing with may not be that creative, but this is the person who you have. How have you been able to mitigate a challenge such as that one?
First of all, the people I have been working with, they have been in the business way longer than I am. So when I was trying to tell them that we cannot keep doing things the same way you're used to, because we want to stand out, we want to be able to be the first thought when someone wants to buy a wooden bowl. We want to be the first people to think about. So it has just been showing them that what she used to do wasn't really working, because when I came in, their business had generally stopped because they used to target the export market.
Yes, like curios.
Yeah, that was their market. And then no goods were going out, no flights were going out. So technically their business stopped. So I told them, hey, right now everyone is at home. They need to find new ways of plating their food, presenting their foods to their families. So we need to find ways to help them do that. So just sharing my ideas with them, they became receptive and we started doing it my way. And they saw that it's better because export market can be challenging with so many brokers in between. You find that the minimal profit that you're getting is just too minimal for you to survive.
Yeah.
But the way we're doing business, there's no middleman. It's we make the product and then we sell it to the customer. So there's no broker who is going to like try and cut off our profits and all that. So they have been receptive to the idea, and yeah, so far we're doing well.
I'm really happy to hear that, and someone said, if you don't adapt, you will die. So I can believe the curio market has been there for the longest time, and people have always been coming. The tourists have been coming, they've been picking, and rightfully so. Like what you said, it's almost like copy paste year in, year out. You will always see the same things, and that's why it's easy for you to go to this Maasai market, go to the next Maasai market, go to the next, and you will find the same thing. So it's very encouraging to know that you come and you've brought in, a little bit of creativity into this whole story. So yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now over to you, Annette. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced, in your line of work? I mean, I can already think of 3 already, but what are some of the challenges that you experienced as you were launching your product and you still are, and how have you been able to mitigate them?
I can start off by saying, of course, being a full-time stay-home mom, now dividing my time to create what I want to create, and also getting the time, because after you do it at home, it reaches a point where you need to ship out.
Yeah.
So, and that means going to the necessary regulatory bodies to be able to now start to standardize your products for the market.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge, trying to divide my time with the family, and to dash off, drop the kids, then you go for a few hours, come back, pick them again and all that. And then also being at home, I had been home for about 5 years. So you can imagine the capital to start the business. So that I started off, with just a bit of the savings I had. And then, you do one thing, develop this product till here, then KEBS tells you, now we need you to pay this.
Need to cover this.
And I'm like, okay, let me go sell 1, 2, 3, come and like the bootstrapping, basically. And then also when you're trying also to get into the market, you also meet, as we said, it's a man's society. So guys are looking at you like, is this really a problem? It's not. Why? Why is breastfeeding a problem?
Oh, wow.
Is it because
this is something, a legit thing that you experienced?
It is a legit thing.
Someone came and told you, why are you making
not one,
women?
not two, several. Up to now, I can assure you, if I walk into a room and say I'm doing breastfeeding products, guys are looking at me like, really? Like, seriously, is that a problem? Like, what is it? Are women too lazy now to breastfeed?
To produce milk?
Yeah. Are they too lazy? Are they too, I'm like, okay. Yeah. They don't understand it's a real problem. I can say those are the top, 3 challenges we've had. And also, of course, now pushing to access the market. As she said, you're like a one-man show. You're everything in your business. So it's hard when you're starting out to, fill in all those spaces, because you're not an expert, but you have to, learn, push yourself to learn on the job. Yeah. But so far, so good. I
want you to tell me how you were able to mitigate the challenge of having to deal with the naysayers. For instance, I'm sure they sat down and they asked, what are their credentials? What are these? How do you know? Especially in a time when there are diets, there are supplements, there are all these things in the market, flooding the market. How have you been able to deal? How have you been able to legitimize your product?
We do that by constantly educating the audience. You have to constantly educate the audience about what is it you're putting in the product. And also, even when you're making the product, you must remain consistent. The consistency matters, because there's no way I'm telling you this product is like this, and then you receive it, it's a different way. I can't tell you I'm not using preservatives, and then you get it and it's, you know. So that has been, you know, it's a constant, let's say, the education bit. Yes, we have to constantly just keep educating. And also, of course, the naysayers, we keep pushing. Because you see, you'll say no, and then tomorrow you're seeing me, and then somebody's like, hey, kumbe yenyewe, this thing was serious like
was
this.
A serious one.
I'm like, yeah,
let me go and
serious.
try it.
Yes,
yeah.
and you see, you can't put me down over something you've not experienced.
Yes.
Especially, you know, being from the other side, being male, you can't tell me it's not an issue, and yet I have experienced it myself. And I do talk to women each and every other day. I know it exists. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's really so encouraging, and I love the fact that, you know, you're resilient and you're pushing and you're saying, okay, fine, then you know what, you believe what you want to believe, but from where I'm sitting, this thing has worked. It has helped my people. Well, I'm moving on swiftly. And I'm sure that is encouraging not only to my audience, but to even people at home who are experiencing naysayers. And I think that's normally one of the toughest things that we experience when you start businesses. And everybody will always be coming and talking about, you know, are you sure? What is this? Is it even valid? You have money to waste. So Wariga, over to you. What are some of the challenges that you've experienced, and how have you been able to circumvent that whole situation?
For me, the biggest challenge was how to find my packaging, like how to do the whole packaging from the stickers, from the jars and all that. Remember, I have the product, yes. I know how to cook it. I know it will sell somehow. But how do I present it? That was the biggest challenge. Even getting the fruits themselves, it was a big challenge, because there's no way I'll just go to your local supermarket, like a punnet of grapes is like 350 shillings.
Yes, it is.
350 shillings cannot even fill a quarter jar.
Oh dear.
And the price you're giving out there, you're like, it doesn't make sense. So I had to look for farmers who are willing to give me at a good price. So that was the biggest challenge, because I've been in the tour. I've been selling safaris and travels and all that. How do I know farmers? Like, from where? If I'm consuming my own jam, I just go to my local supermarket, get for my own home. But now, when it came now to commercializing it, it was a huge problem. But I got the right people. Thank God to COVID, and thank God to social media as well. It helps a lot, where you just post a question and everyone bashes into your post, and you get results. So that was a problem. By the time someone is getting what you want, like, I need a simple logo, but not just simple, a logo that is standing out as well. It was a challenge, but finally they got it. Getting the jars was a problem as well, because you don't know these things. You just get them anywhere. So when I started, I'll get from a jirani who used to sell jars. At that time, a jar it's 150. You're like, I can't make this.
And you need like 400.
Until I came to know about a company called Arichem. They do all those supply, and I was very happy about it. It slashed the cost into half.
Oh wow!
I was so happy. So those were the main challenges. And also getting into the market, like, how will I convince someone not to get that shelf jam and buy my jam?
Yes, the one that they have been consuming for years after years,
which is so affordable as well, you know. But
how are you going to encourage them?
At the end of the day, I was like, taste it first before you buy. Like, even to date, when I send my jams out, like when I'm sending a rider, I don't request for payment first. I believe in the saying, chema chajiuza. And if there's one thing that has made my jam stand out, is that wow factor of, I love it. I didn't know I can eat jam again. Because most of the guys you're trained, nikuzie jam, I don't eat jam. That's the first thing you get by the skulangi jam. Oh, my kids don't eat jam, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, taste it first. I'm not asking you to buy bread. I'm not forcing you to eat bread. My jam can be used in so many
in so many
things.
ways. You can bake, you can do all of that.
You can do
Wow.
so many things. Yeah. So those are the main challenges, actually.
Wow. So that's really encouraging, Moringa. And even just cutting across, you know, even the rest of you ladies, some of the things that you have experienced, I'm sure, even the male counterparts, even women who are older, even women who are younger have all experienced that. And I'm really hoping that, you know, how you were able to mitigate the situation has actually caused, you know, they're taking notes rather. So before we go on a break, we've talked about challenges. Now, give me the key milestones. Now that we've gone through all that and here we are, give me some of the key milestones that you have experienced in this journey of yours. Yes.
For me, I think, first of all, being in business for 3 years, I clap for myself every other day because it's not easy. So that's a good thing. And also, one of my highs has been I once sent a package to Switzerland. Like someone reached out to me all the way from Switzerland. They wanted to buy, and it was a huge order. So at first, I thought it was just one of those, you know, internet
scammers.
on the internet. So, but it turned out to be a good deal. So I think that has been one of my highest earnings of my business.
Wow, congratulations. That's definitely a milestone. I think when you feel like you're crossing borders, you're like, but there's something I'm actually doing. Yeah, Annette, give us a milestone.
I can say, number one, getting to serve nursing mothers is the greatest thing, and just having that satisfaction and the positive feedback that you've made somebody's journey longer, their breastfeeding journey longer. I mean, that does it for me. And the second thing is to get my goods like standardized in a way that I can compete in the international market.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful.
So, yes.
Oh, wow, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
That's definitely a milestone worth noting. You should have a plaque written it. Yes, finally, what do you got?
I'm listening to that and then I'm like, where am I? I guess for me, the biggest milestone was getting the product right.
Yes.
Trust me, I may say I know how to make jam, but getting that product right was the hardest thing. And I'll encourage everyone out there, YouTube is your friend. YouTube is your friend. So for me, the biggest milestone was that, getting the product right and knowing what you're selling. Because at times we blindly sell things without knowing what you're selling and not knowing your product right. For me, it's getting it right and finally getting a seal that I wanted for my product. Not the kawaida seal that you just seal the jam and all that. And also having repeated clients and saying, you know, Warega, I can't do, even when I'm sold out, you'll hear some, Warega, you know, I can't do, my mzee can't do without your jam. And for me, that's a milestone. It might be 1, 2, 3 clients, but knowing that they will always come back. Not always, like on a monthly basis, they are coming back. So for me, that's a milestone.
Wow, that's excellent. Let's give our ladies a round of applause for those exemplary milestones. To be honest, I think to reach where they have reached, it's definitely take a lot of resilience, a lot of hard work, a lot of patience, and I'm so happy that it's actually been able to pay off. You know, let's give them a round of applause for that. Congratulations, ladies. So we will take a very short break and then we'll come back for the question and answer session. Just an opportunity for our audience to interact with our panelists and also for them to give us their comments, their feedback if they have any questions. So don't go far. You definitely do not want to miss that.
even the women rep, the total, we have not reached 40 and we are successful in this country.
For me to attain the award, or for a lady who is aspiring to get the award, they have to have a goal, they have to be self-driven, they have to be disciplined, and at the end of the day you really have to be successful in a way that you've been recognized for the things you have done and for your stability.
There are 3 things that you can do. First of it is hard work. The second thing is financial stability.
I know ladies who are on their path of almost achieving the award, and I can call out on Aziad because she is in her early 20s. She's barely 25 years, but they are on the path or on the verge of attaining the top 40 and 40. Yes.
Welcome back to my favorite part of the show, which is the question and answer session, where our panel gets to interact with our audience. So we've been celebrating the journey that these remarkable ladies have taken. And remember, this is just but a representation of the women who are at home, top 40, under 40, who are doing it big in whatever realm that they're in, whatever industry, be it in the political realm, be it in the private or the public sector. We see you, we acknowledge you, and we celebrate you. So to get us started in this question and answer session, I would like to invite a lady who is going to introduce herself, who is also doing pretty big in her own right. So karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Ashiko. Greetings, everybody. My name is Diana Ugenda. I'm an entrepreneur. I run Organics Vital Health. It's a health and wellness company where our mission and our vision is to make you feel and look good from the inside out.
Yes.
That's it.
Wow. So how long have you been in the industry?
Actually, from around 2020, a COVID baby also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, by the way, I think now the next one we need to do a full show about the, COVID babies, and something that was, devastated the whole, the whole globe, had a few, silver linings, and here we are. So if you were to give some encouraging words to someone who's looking at you right now and wants to get into the industry and is wondering, how do I do it? What would you tell them?
First things first, you have to have a vision, you have to have the passion. If you have the passion, there's nothing that is going to hold you back no matter what. Mm-hmm. Don't mind about having the capital or knowing the ropes of running a social media or where to get the products.
Yes.
Once you have what it takes, you just run with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Diana. Diana, that
too.
is so encouraging, and thank you so much for making time to come and sit with us today.
Thank you so
Asante
much.
sana, Diana. So our next question or comment is from Juliet. Juliet is a friend of Dadas show, so karibu sana. It's really good to see you again.
Thank you.
So Juliet, you have a question?
Yes, my question will go to Annette, and I like, just for someone who would want to get into their business, how was the process like getting standardized, like your products getting standardized?
Okay. That's an excellent question. Some of the things that you had to learn on the job. How did you get to a point where your product right now can even compete on an international, marketplace, playing field?
As I said, I started off doing the products in my own kitchen, but I'm dealing with a niche that is very sensitive, the mother and baby. So I reached out to KBC, and they told me they could not standardize the products at home. Now I had to look for a way of, how do I get these KBC? So I talked to someone, networking, and she directed me to a place called Kirdi. It's a research institute by the government that trains you in, whatever you're doing and helps you to do product development. So I went there, told them what I wanted to do. At first, of course, they were taken aback because I started with the lactation tea. They're like, we only know about porridge for, breastfeeding moms. So I'm like, no, but maybe you do porridge. I'm like, no, I want to start with the lactation tea. So they're like, you're sure this thing works? I'm like, yes, you have customers. Yes, you have. So they're like, okay, please let us know, the ingredients you want to use and all that. And of course, they attach you to a research scientist who helps you, read through whatever ingredients you want. Of course, there's a lot of value addition in what they do. You do a lot of research, then, create the formulas with your products. You're used to doing it at home. I'll do a quarter cup of this, a quarter cup of this. That is not how you do it at Kirdi if you're trying to, not at Kirdi, but how you standardize your product.
Yes.
You work with percentages. Everything has to add up to 100%. So if you're putting sugar, is it 1%, 2%? If you're putting this, is it 3%, 3.2? It matters. That point, this matters because it alters your products. So you see, it's a whole learning process to know if you have 50 ingredients, they all still have to add up to the 100%. So you go, of course, at Kirdi, you pay just a small fee. It's a government facility. So it's not, it's like, say, subsidized, yeah? So you pay for it, they give you the research scientists, you go through the product development, you develop your product until it's ready. Once it's ready for the market, then you go to KBC. Because Kirdi will allow you to use their facility when you're getting your products standardized, yeah? Because at this stage, you can't afford a whole factory with sijui, you're told it has to be this high with, trenches for, draining and washing and all that. The equipment is super expensive, but they have it all there. So they allow you to use it even after you get your KBC and use it as a production facility at a subsidized cost. So I can say also, of course, the government is...
That's what I was actually thinking. I mean, we definitely have to applaud our government for that, because I can imagine the kind of hustle that you thought about, because this is the consistencies. You're putting things together. You're putting things together that were originally not together.
Exactly.
You know, and you're being held to a very high standard. So it's good that, thank you, Asante Sana, for, to the government for offering certain facilities. So after the Kirdi process is done and you've gone to KBC, what's the next one?
At KBC, there are categories of businesses. When you're a small business, you pay this much. When you're a big business, you pay this much. So what they do is they need to collect samples, and they have to collect samples from a KBC certified facility. And which facility is that? It's Kirdi.
Yeah.
So they will come to Kirdi, look at your process, look through, everything you've done, the packaging. And of course, at KBC, they have what we call standards. They give you, they're written for whichever industry you are in. They're written on what you need to do. If you're packaging this, if you're using, paper, it needs to be like this, like this, like this. Put the labels like this, the manufacturing, the what. If it's the ingredients, you have to, say which ingredients you're using, because they have to protect the consumer also at the same time. So there's a lot that goes on. It's not just a sticker. There are procedures, And it did not take long. I think it took about 2-3 months for me to get the KBC. I just applied and, sat pretty. 3 months I had my and they actually call you, email you and tell you, it's ready.
Oh, wow.
And you come for it, and that was it. I never had like a struggle with the KBC.
Wow.
Yes.
That's very encouraging to hear, Annette, because I think most times when anybody's thinking about a business and you start thinking about certifications and you start thinking about licenses, I know for a fact that even in most people I know, the cases that has made them shy away from getting into, their own businesses and starting something is, how many people do I have to give a kickback? Oh, this is so corrupt. Oh, no. So it's very, very encouraging to hear that from conceptualization, when you started doing until release was 2-3 months. And now you're dealing with actually a consumable. So you'd think, of course, the checks and balances are even more. Oh, wow. So thank you so much, Juliet. Yeah,
Thing is, at KEBS, they also, I know people fear regulation and all that. They'll still tell you, if you need to tweak this, they will tell you.
They will allow you,
Yes, they'll give you a grace period.
Yeah.
Tweak this and then bring it back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you shouldn't fear.
Should not fear.
Yes.
I think information is power, to be honest, because I hope someone at home right now has actually gotten that information, and instead of being scared of the big bad, big bad wolf
yes.
that everybody likes to paint some of these government institutions to be like, the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
So Juliet, I hope your question was answered. Thank you so much, Juliet. We also have a budding entrepreneur. She's also the master in her craft and also doing it big in her own right. So I'm so happy to have her join us today. Even though she decided she's going to sit in the audience, we're going to welcome Anne, who's going to tell us a little bit about herself and what she does, and to give us some word of encouragement to the ladies here and the ladies at home who are working towards achieving their goals.
Asante sana. My name is Anne Maitai. I'm the innovator behind mosquito repellent candles.
Yeah.
I love the look, of shock on your faces.
Yeah.
And mine is more of a comment, which coincidentally is what we are talking about here, KEBS, KIRDI, and the government institutions. I think we are very thankful for these institutions, and we say, I think they need to be more intentional where cottage industries are concerned. Because how many people know that KEBS is not this big bad wolf?
Yeah.
How many know that KIRDI is there to uplift you and improve on the skills that you have? From experience, you and I may know it because of social media and what have you. But think about the small industries who, are creating a manufacturing bar soap, for instance, or powdered detergents, and they'll do it chini ya maji because they are scared of this institution. So we need the government to be more intentional, or the government institutions to be more intentional. Go out there, educate people so that we produce better quality things, and then that will build us up. The cottage industry, if you look at India, China, they were built on the backbone of cottage industries.
Yes.
And as a country, that is what we need. Because that will bring more people, again, into the tax bracket. Because now they'll be producing correctly. They'll be producing quality goods. And who doesn't want to pay taxes?
Yeah.
So that is my comment. Again, when you hear a lot as mosquito repellent candles, ni mimi.
Yay! Let's give a hearty hand clap. Karibu sana. And I really do agree, and I definitely have to echo. And of course, like we always say, we always have to, for the people, the powers that be, if they're listening, make some of these institutions a little bit more intentional, a little bit more approachable. So, because I believe the mentality, like, to be honest, my mind is blown, because I believe everybody's mentality when they're out there thinking about putting a product out in the market, they keep on thinking about, oh my God, licensing. How many people do I have to give a kickback to? And to be honest, like what Anne has said, some of the biggest economies were built on the backs of cottage industries. So if we are in a position to encourage people to come in their tenfolds, come with this idea, KIRDI is there to support, KEBS is not there to shut you down, they're there to encourage you, then I believe definitely we'll go far and our economy will be in a much better place than it currently is. Asante sana, Anne, for that. That's an excellent insight. So far, the next question or comment is from Hezron.
My name is Hezron, and first of all, congratulations to the three of you on what you ventured into. It's no easy feat. And my question is, how do you balance between work, family, and everyday activities?
I think that's an excellent question, Hezron. Thank you so much. You read my mind. How do you, because you've touched a little bit on families, but I know even for the ones who do not have families, there's career, there is ambition, there is school, there's even just extracurricular activity. How do you even have a social life when you're doing all of that? Just briefly, can you guys tell us how you're doing it? We can start with you.
Honestly, it takes the grace of the Lord. Every day, that is one of the prayers I pray, that the Lord help me to manage my time well, because I'm managing work, business, family, school, school as well. Yeah, so I think it just takes the grace of the Lord and also just planning your time well. You have to have a to-do list. You have to write down everything you need to achieve that day, so that I think for me the fulfillment is in the ticking the boxes that I have done this, I have done this. Yeah, so just having a plan or just writing things that you need to do for that day. Yeah.
So for Victoria, it is divine intervention
sure.
and proper time management. No, it's not far. It's you know, it's purpose, it's hope, it's faith. Okay, and Annette, what's your secret?
My secret is I discovered that because I am home full time, I had to learn to carve time for myself, and that means I wake up earlier before the kids are waking up for school and all that, and also planning my schedule with my husband. He knows, like now today I'm here, he knows he has to, you know, pick up my slack on the other side. So just time management, as she said, you need to plan your time, divide your time in a way that you're able to achieve on this side and also on the other side. It's not easy. I would not say it works perfectly and seamlessly, but we get it done. And at the end of the day, as she says, you know, you have the boxes you need to check and say, at least I got this done today. And if I did not, you know, more grace. As we said, God is there, the grace is there. So if it doesn't work today, you know, you'll try again tomorrow. And yeah, that's how we get it done.
Wow, I like that. So far, I hope you at home are taking notes. So far we have divine intervention, we have time management, we have a proper support structure. You know, like you're saying, if you have somebody in your life who can be able to pick up where you leave something off, then I believe that's also very crucial and very integral to any success. So I hope you guys are taking notes, even you in my audience are taking notes for what, you know, we're being given them more Kenya of how they done did it. And then Mariga, finally, what's your trick?
Listening to Annette, like when a lady say Yesu ni Bwana, it literally means Yesu ni Bwana, like, you know. Yeah, I think I'll just add on to what they've said. Once you have a schedule, you're good. Personally, I'm not a morning person, so I'm looking at her and I'm like, wow.
I know, waking up earlier.
Waking up early, like, okay. Blah, blah, blah. I have a husband, blah, blah, blah. I'm a single mother, so it can really, my hands can be really tied completely. And I guess it's all about teamwork, even at home. Be aligned with your nanny, like your house help, like be on the same page. And then everything will just flow. If it's the kids who are supposed to wake up at this time, they all know. Everyone knows. Just have a clear schedule. Also tick in the boxes of what she said. Have your planner. Tomorrow I'm supposed to do A, B, C, D. For me, who's not a morning person, I know from what time I'm supposed to do my stuff. Once you tick the boxes, you're good. Also, delegate. Accept that you can't do everything alone. Yes, just accept that. Because you end up being overwhelmed, you end up being tired, you end up not producing what you're supposed to produce. Like you end up having just a meltdown. So just delegate when you can. If it's the deliveries, have a rider. Pia anatafuta hiyo unga. You know, at a small fee, just delegate, and accept that you can do things alone. Yeah. Oh, I like that point, and I think I've noticed very many people have been nodding in the audience. Yes, delegating, because we, like, especially as women, we want to think that we are a one-stop shop. You know, you can be able to do everything. I'm going to be superwoman. I will take care of the babies. I'll take care of the husband. I'll take care of the house. I will still run the business. And to be honest, and that, of course, there's a lot of burnout for so many of us, and you end up getting demoralized in the process of trying to create something, and you're demoralized because you feel like the world is against me. And that's why you find the number of us walking around so angry, constantly just angry. You're miffed about everything and everyone. So I think it's important. Thank you for what you've said. So I think it's important, you know, take notes today. I think I've noted delegate. If you can get somebody, if you can train somebody, if you can be able to trust somebody, if someone shares the same kind of vision that you do, delegate. Asante sana for that. So I believe we have a question or a comment from Sophie. Hezron, was your question adequately answered? Asante sana. So final question or comment from Sophie.
I'm humbled today to be here. And I count it as a blessing because I've been able to learn a lot today from all these women, both the ones among the panel and the ones we have here in the audience. Just to say, this has been so insightful and encouraging. I am a film producer, and I've also gotten to learn a lot from you. And just to tell you to keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I know for a lot of people, it's we tend to stop because we think of the challenges more, or maybe when we are hit with a challenge, we tend to stop. But it has been encouraging to see that you have been able to push through, even despite the challenges that you've faced, and you're here today to encourage us and to talk to us. And I'm sure a lot of people have been encouraged out there. And yeah, so I'm so grateful to be here today. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the affirmation. Let's give a round of applause to Sophie. And we have come to the end of a very insightful, very encouraging episode of Dadas Show. Please be sure to join us on all our social media platforms. Give us your comments, give us your questions, give us your feedback, give us your recommendations, because like we said, this is just a representation of a very big mass of women who are out there, women who are doing it big. And so for me, I think my words of encouragement today would be, being a woman is already difficult enough as it is. So if we can be able to hold on to each other, if we can be able to encourage each other, if we can be able to get over our petty differences and lift each other up and acknowledge each other and celebrate each other, let us be people who are very cognizant of each other, and we work towards building each other as opposed to breaking each other down. So of course, on behalf of the team at KBC and my location partner, Best Western Upper Hill, myself, Ashiko Mbune, and of course, my wonderful panel and audience, I wish you all a very insightful, very encouraging, and very uplifting week. I'll catch you guys the same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.